Shorter than the one at Martha's Rest. I'll take it. The other one was bandits being assholes at the worst of times, right? At Delamil. We ended up visiting them in the order in which we actually found them in the first place. Sorry, getting some hiccups. Lubor.
Sid, your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should I be worried?
You haven't been introduced.
Jill, Clive has told me much about you.
All lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalamil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although, you're a little late. They left with our food and guild days ago.
Any idea where they went?
The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Okay, looks like the town is falling apart then.
We've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalimil's little problem. And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing. It will be our own. Now, I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard.
Down the rabbit hole with the desert hare, I see.
Suppose we just follow the shouting.
I almost forgot.
After it.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good pupper? As you are. As you are. Okay, what's this shouting match about?
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men whose throats were slit. Blood for blood, it's the only way. We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
With what money?
And what happens when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men? Are you going to hire more? We're better off using that coin to buy food and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the only thing we're buying is the bandits' ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
But what happens when they come back? Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
That's enough. Both of you. Any more of this and I'll throw you out myself. Come back when you're ready to talk like adults.
Victor. What's he doing here?
I don't remember who he was.
Sid. And Lady Jill.
Oh, this will be much simpler if we just find the bandits and take everything back.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos.
Then they can buy food and they don't need mercenaries.
The Briar's Kiss here in Dalamil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this place might be headed the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire city, for that matter.
We're still working on the skies. But in the meantime, perhaps we can find a solution to Dalamil's problems.
I hope so.
Nice Ultima Sadness spell. Okay. Didn't get to do much talking there.
So, you seem my predicament?
What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder, that anger and fear could set the entire town alight.
My thoughts exactly. What to do? Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided, we are vulnerable.
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
I mean, if we knew where they were.
Well, if it were my namesake,
I hope we don't have options to pick.
he'd let them choose for themselves. And be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization would be enough to make them question the ingredients.
What?
While it's plain neither Conrad nor Natalie will countenance the other's proposal, it may still be possible to make them doubt their own. Before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other?
When all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits.
It appears we have a plan of action.
Wait, are you suggesting just arming the common people of the town?
Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince
Just-
him of his folly.
Just torches and pitchforks for the bandits?
As you wish.
Your faces are not well known in this town. That may prove useful. Don't worry, Victor and I will do most of the talking. You need only play along.
Play along.
What he means to say is yes.
The Clive was like, what's happening, Jill? Can you explain it to me? Oh, I think this is closer.
Picture it, Conrad. Ah, here she is. The Lady of the Spear herself. Conrad, may I introduce you to Jane, commander of the Red Wings, the oldest mercenary guild in the Free Cities.
A pleasure, my lady.
The pleasure is all mine.
As I told you, I summoned the commander here from Canberra to inquire about a contract.
Victor says you told him no. That there aren't any men left to hire. Is that true?
True as the crystals cracked. Nobles came and claimed every last one worth his salt. And not just from us Red Wings. You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 2 swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left. If it's boys you're looking for.
Well, Conrad, are you saying that Dalamil's finest cannot defend this town better than a gaggle of unblooded striplings? That a band of beardless youths could better avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not. We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you called the brightest candle in the crypt. And there's a reason why I had you do the talking and not Sid.
Right, Sid can't lie for shit. So that's more of an informed quality than one we've actually seen in action.
Then let us band together and show these brutes that Dalimil is not to be trifled with.
I don't think we've been in a position where Clive is trying to lie to someone.
I'm ruined. My shop.
If I had my pickaxe, I would...
So I wonder when he mentions like Dalamil's finest, I hope he means guards and not
It may
just
still be possible to buy something.
random guys.
You may yet be allowed to keep it.
He looks like a random guy.
Ah, here he is now.
And who are you anyway?
Allow me to introduce Lord Underhill of Randalar's prestigious
League of Merchants.
Lord Underhill. At your service.
Underhill.
I was just telling the good lady of our conversation, my lord, and how you were lamenting the state of the capital.
I think we're about to see Sid trying to act Clive, I mean.
Not only are the granaries almost empty, but that war and the blight mean this season's harvest won't be enough to fill them for winter.
Indeed, certainly that is the case. The nobles in the capital are buying up the city's stocks of barley and wine, driving the prices
Wine.
higher than most commoners can afford. It is only a matter of time before the peasants revolt.
It is worse than I thought. If what Lord Underhill says is true, I fear we have little hope of supplementing our stores, meager though they regrettably are. And while I applaud your endeavors to dissuade our more bellicose citizens from seeking vengeance, I sense Conrad is not wrong in his assessment of the bandits' likely return. Which means that now, more than ever, we will need to secure what little we still have. Food, weapons, herbs, everything. If our humble town is to endure not only this hardship, but those that are certain to follow, we must stand united.
All right. If it will help to protect my home, I'll do it. But you needn't have gone through this charade.
Right. Then he turns around and looks at Clive and is like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Clive, your performance was nothing if not workmanlike.
She saw right through it.
I didn't say it was good, merely that it produced the desired effect. Now, my scouts should be returning shortly. Meet me back at the Briar's Kiss, and we shall see what
Lord
we face.
Underhill. Should have let Jill do it.
Not convinced our roles in this ruse were entirely necessary.
I don't know. Conrad seemed quite taken with you.
Mummy, I'm scared.
For a second I read that as, what if the bald man come back?
Good news, Sid. Both Conrad and Natalie have somewhat gracefully accepted their new roles. With time, they may even learn to.
Time no longer appears to be the luxury it was before lunch.
I take it your scouts found the bandits.
Technically, it would be the bandits who found my scouts. It appears they march for Dalimil as we speak. All of them.
You're not serious.
They don't just want food, they want the whole damn town.
Okay, it's time for a spot of murder, I think. Just send us out there.
I have a favor to ask. I'm told the bandits march in two groups, one from the south and one from the desert, in a move doubtless intended to stretch our already gossamer thin defenses.
Okay, we can meet one on our own.
Well, Jill and I will meet those from the desert. But what of the rest?
The rest, my friend, the city shall fight. Together. Mistakes, I concede, are high. But if this does not unite Dalimil, nothing will.
That is a lot of faith to put into.
Or maybe we can send Jill to one side and it's up to the other.
Then it will be for
He's the
us
single person and
to
his dog versus an army of bandits.
And I do mean us.
I mean, it's fine. We have a fire god with us, technically.
We'll hold them off for as long as we can.
And we will do the same.
Where are they, actually? Oh, right outside. Okay.
The women folk have come to welcome us.
I'll take that one.
He's all yours.
No attacking? Come on, come on. Give me just a little bit more. It's time! This might have been excessive, actually.
overwhelm us.
I wonder if the level just makes it last longer. Okay, they got ninjas. Sorry, I'm busy killing this guy. Ow, that hit me. Enemy slain. Just slap the shit out of him. Let me see all those numbers pop up. Well, that was easy.
The townspeople. Could they have held out?
I don't hear any fighting. What do you think?
That we should hurry.
Oh, they look fine.
Natalie, I owe you an apology. You did well out there. The inn would have been lost had you not held the line.
Without you, there would have been no line to hold. You saved us, Conrad. You saved Dalimil.
We all saved Dalimil.
Conrad seems to have had a change of heart.
I'd say they both have.
I take it from your presence that our visitors from the desert won't be joining us either. Pity.
The plan worked, Sid. Granted, it only took an army of bloodthirsty bandits at our gate.
Calm now, Victor. Why quibble over the details?
I don't remember who Victor
We are
is.
united, and that is all that matters. As for you, Sid, you fight considerably better than you act.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay.
Our friends seem to have things under control. For now, at least. Let's go and put Otto's mind at rest.
Speaking of, I do kind of want to try upgrading Bahamut's laser beam, Giga Flare. Let's see how many points I even need. Quite a few more. If I reset Impulse, I don't have enough. Okay, so doing this just makes Upheaval have a shorter window. It shouldn't change the power of the ability, I don't believe. And then I can just switch this with Giga Flare. And it's upgraded. Let me just step outside for a second and throw it out. It just says more hits. Okay, I'm gonna assume it's worth it. It does more damage overall. If I use it for a while and I don't like it, I'll just switch back to something else.
I'd be happy to tell Otto everything that happened. But I know he appreciates it when you spare him the time.
Okay.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
Oh, and he also got this. Let me just get this first then.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Come to claim your just desserts?
A newfound purpose. Since I can remember, I have served none but myself, turned my back on the world for a handful of silks and a heavy purse. But where has that left me? It is hard to keep joy in one's heart when all those around you are without. Something must change, and that change must start with me. A lonely porter. No risk, no reward, orchestrion. Okay,
You earned this.
if you say so. Talisman of Priming.
All done?
Guess we'll get that later. Maybe.
Was wondering when you turn up. Had owls from all our friends thanking you for your timely intervention.
We just
How
went
you always
to
manage
all
find
corners of the
just
realm.
right moment. Luck, I suppose. Any word on the rest of the realm? Let's see. Storm's still crying out for mother crystals. The nations are still in chaos. And the skies are still the colour of a kick in the kidneys 2 days on. So... Right. Clive, we knew this was going to happen. Well, not the bleeding skies part, but you take my point.
That it was going to get worse before it got better.
Now's the time to second guess yourself. Now's the time to visit the infirmary. Talia says your brother's awake. Thank you, Otto.
So it was not Sylvester, but Olivier who served as Ultima's puppet. And when Dion learned of this, he sought to slay the fiend. Only for his father to take the spear that would have freed him. Enough to drive a man to madness.
So are we telling him about the Echo?
Stirred. I would be afraid to wake.
I wonder how Olivier was made.
Warned him of the threat Ultima posed. But now, both an empire and her prince lie
Like, was it did he replace the child? Did the child get possessed?
What do you know of Ultima?
Yeah, how did you learn about this thing in the first place? Are you a time traveler?
I'm afraid. Despite my best...
I'm still clinging to that theory, but it's probably not.
18 years ago,
Know what it's about.
as I lay buried beneath the rubble of Phoenix Gate, 'twas not death who came for me, but another. And it was while in my rescuer's care, I first heard of Ultima. I've been chasing his shadow ever since. Ultima is driven by some deep, dark purpose, and for whatever reason, it would seem you are crucial to his designs. He will stop at nothing to have you, even if that means toppling an empire.
But why me? What possible use could I be to such a creature?
That is one of many answers that have eluded me. Yet, I am certain of this. It is not mere chance. You were chosen for a reason. All dominants carry within them the might of an icon. Nigh limitless power that is at once acutely limited. I wield fire, and only fire.
And I only ice. 8 wardens for 8 elements. But you, Clive.
You are different. You're special. Your abilities begin with the flames of Ifrit. But they do not end there. The fact Ifrit can even exist goes against everything we thought we knew of dominance. Perhaps Ultima has been waiting for one such as you, whose potential is truly limitless.
I've encountered that thing several times now. If it or he, as you say, needs me, why hasn't he claimed me as he did the boy?
Were I to hazard a guess,
He wants you to get more
I'd say
powerful.
The two of you are somehow incompatible. His mind not properly attuned to
Oh
your
yeah, that too. He does keep saying.
His mind.
He does keep talking about consciousness and will.
mind, awareness, spirit, call it what you wish. But I believe Ultima to be an embodiment of the concept. This is why I struggle and fail to contain him here inside me.
I'm sorry. Inside you.
With every setting sun, I feel my strength wane. And though the Phoenix's flames mend the prison I have made for Ultima, they do so at a cost. We must find a means to bring an end to him before I meet my own.
What were you thinking?
It was that or let him take Clive. And I've always had a soft spot for my brother.
But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself to save me.
Joshua.
Clive, it's Gav. There's an army of Akashic at the gates of Canver.
Well, what's the short of it?
I thought Tyre told you. The capital of the Free Cities is under siege by an army of monstrosities. The city guard are doing their best to stem the tide, but numbers ain't on their side.
What of Lord Byron and Mid? Were they able to escape?
No, but they're all right for now. They're hiding with Gav at midship.
We have to get them out of there.
And we shall. Otto, prepare a Stolas. Tell Gav to stay exactly where he is.
Understood.
Vivian, what's the swiftest route to the Free Cities?
That sounds like a question for the map. Look here. This road, through Tabor, should provide the least trouble.
Good.
What a coincidence. Tabor is exactly where I'm bound.
Joshua, Bed is where you should be bound.
You don't think I told him the exact same thing?
Were Tyre not such a talented healer, I would surely have been inclined to agree. But, thanks to her ministrations, I feel I may safely rejoin my attendant, who was to wait for me in Tabor if we became separated.
All right, we travel together.
Clive!
If he stays close to me, he'll be fine.
Thank you, brother.
I'll look after him.
It'll be the first time.
Was with me in the Dominion before I primed. She would have watched the battle unfold and witnessed its outcome.
Oh, now we get a side quest. Oh no.
Tabor, where I can finally introduce you.
Tyre's right. Your brother is in no condition to travel. That's all I'll say on the matter. It's Mid, Gav, and your uncle we should be thinking about now.
We got more hunts! So quickly. Just one? C. The Pack. A team of curse breakers traveling through Tabor to the fields of Korava were met by a group of hunters from the village. Warned them not to stray too far from the main road, for in a gully not far hence rested a pack of wolves that even such practiced hunters as they would not dare to wake, despite the fine luster of the animals' pelts. Too many of their friends had succumbed to temptation, only to be torn limb from limb. Okay, south of Tabor, Dalmacia. We may be able to just get there on the way there. But first, I should check the side quests. Doesn't look like there's anything in the overworld. Everything seems to be just in the hideaway. Let's trigger these quests. I'm not sure how much more I'll keep going through. It's getting very hot, and I don't know if I want to just keep sitting here for another hour or two. But I'll try to progress a bit more.
There's a storm coming, Sid. Will there be thunder?
There'll be thunder. There'll be fire and brimstone, it looks like.
I can certainly try. Who's gone missing this time?
It's not who, but what. Mid-scales. The ones she made for her workshop.
We have
I
thieves?
borrowed them to teach the little ones about weight and
Here?
after the lesson. Well, they vanished.
Oh, a kid probably took them to play with them.
My first thought was that they'd taken them off somewhere to play, but when I asked, they swore they had nothing to do with their having disappeared. Which almost certainly means they had everything to do with it.
Okay.
Perhaps a visit from Sid will jog their memories.
They probably broke it and tried to hide
I
it.
think it just might. Thank you. I don't like to imagine that my pupils would lie to me. But if they have, I'll have no choice but to discipline them accordingly. They were in the atrium when I last saw them, as always.
Oh. Okay.
Seems the hideaway is lost.
Before that, hi Molly.
Here, you put me in this situation, Clive. You can bloody well get me out of it. I need a hand with a recipe.
Are you sure it's me you're looking for? I'm not much of a cook.
I'm all the cook will be needing, thank you very much. What I want from you is a little of your time, right? Oh, and perhaps your sword. You remember Ivan's stew, right? Well, despite the look of the thing, and that awful stench, people wolf it down.
You're kidding.
So I thought I'd try making one of these supposed masterpieces myself. Had a peek at the book and gave it a go, but, well...
It wasn't as straightforward as you'd hoped.
You want some more scorpion stingers?
Yeah, but this is my blooming kitchen, and I will not be outdone. So if you don't want to be seen as playing favourites, I suggest you lend me a hand.
Help Molly with a recipe. I did help Yvonne.
I've never been one to play favourites, Molly. And I would be only too happy to lend you a hand. So,
That's a good boy.
what's on the menu this time?
He always helps.
Fried mortress of skyworm. That's one heck of a name, innit?
Huh?
Recipe seemed easy enough to an old hand like myself. Thought I'd followed it to a T. Only, turns out skyworm livers and drake's mint are not what I thought they were. At least I hope they're not, given the rancid mess they made.
Yvonne said the recipes in the culinary pilgrimage date back centuries. Who's to say the ingredients even exist anymore?
Wow, that's a question for a scholar, wouldn't you say? Perhaps you know of one? Kindly old fella who haunts the shelves, maybe?
He's right there. Can you go ask him?
Go and speak to Harpocrates. Perhaps he'll know something. And if he does, I'll see if I can find your ingredients for you.
I feel like this part you could have handled yourself.
Lest we forget, you've got a reputation to uphold.
People just don't want to talk to Tomes. He insists people say his name, and they can't.
Lawsman Harpocrates.
Only Clive
Take your
can.
brain if you don't mind. It's about the book you lent Yvonne.
Ah, Valisthea, a culinary pilgrimage, a classic. One of my favorites, in fact. The young man did a wonderful job with the Chance's stew. I do hope we shall be able to sample more such marvels in due course.
That's actually why I'm here. I don't suppose you know where I might find skyworm livers and drake's mint.
Ah, so the fabled Sandbrequois delicacy is next on the menu. Delightful. The descriptions of fried mortress never fail to make my mouth water. Now, skyworm is a somewhat antiquated name for the wyvern. their ground livers being the paste from which the mortress is made.
Dragon livers. How very Sambraquois.
How very Ashgardian.
One would have thought the disciples of Bahamut would have a touch more reverence for their icon's brethren, but apparently not. I believe the specific dragon the recipe demands is the blueback wyvern, said to be the very color of the sea beside which it resides.
So we know where to look for our liver. But what about the drake's mint?
Saint's bonnet in contemporary parlance, a herb which grows along the North Reach coast. I gather that one can locate the cheerful yellow flowers by their heady scent alone, so I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding them. I may add that people once believed game was best served with the flora that sustained it in life, in which regard fried mortress of skyworm is undoubtedly a typical dish of the time.
Meaning that if I find one, I find the other. To Northreach, then.
Best of luck, Clive. And do save me a bite once the dish is complete.
Okay, it's already sending us out there.
Seems the hideaway is also.
Whew. Oh, I thought I had to talk to Blackthorn, but I guess Goots need something.
What am I gonna do?
Ask about the skies, I guess. I reckon these skies are enough to give anyone the colley wobbles, but I'm not gonna sit around hanging my head and twiddling me thumbs. Did enough of that back in Twinside while you were busy fighting that horrible dragon, and then that even horribler one. From now on, I'm gonna do what you lot do. I'm properly pull my finger out, no matter how much my knees are knocking. Can't have Nan and Blackthorn thinking I'm a great big wet blanket now, can I? So don't you worry about me. You just stick to what you do best, saving the world. Okay.
Is everything alright, Goots? You seem more discomposed than usual.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but I'm in a bit of a muddle. Oh, I think Nan might be in trouble and she's...
It's alright. You can tell me.
There was a chick came back, one of our usuals, like, said he'd heard some rotten rumours about her down Dalimil way. Folk are saying she's been selling to bandits and cutthroats and that. I mean, she's fond of a chance to make a coin or two, aye, but she'd never do business with baddies. Especially not the kind who go hurting people who haven't done out. I wanted to ask her about it myself, but I'm scared she'll give us a tongue lashing. She'd never give your tongue a lashing, though, would she?
I'm not afraid of a lashing.
Don't worry. I'll speak to her.
Oh, thanks, Clive.
It's like I'm into that.
Let me know what she says, won't you?
Of course. I'm sure it's all just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, let's talk to our lady Karen. Is she going to go in here? Oh, off limits. That means you. Makes sense. Not allowed to go behind the counter.
Lady Karen. How's business?
Not nearly as foul as the weather.
You're doing good trade then? Both in and out of the hideaway?
Can't complain. Wait, what exactly are you getting at? Not once in 5 long years did you pay my affairs half a care, but here you are today, raking me over the coals like a bloody popoto.
Popoto?
Asking. Out of interest. All right. I'm here because I was told that certain rumors have been circulating about you selling weapons to brigands.
Are you? And who was it who knows me so well as to tell tales of my evil exploits?
I didn't exactly hear
good.
firsthand. All I know is that someone in Dalimil...
Don't hurt me,
has
ma'am.
been
It was
spreading
Goots.
word to that effect.
And what? You believe it? You think I'm profiting off the blood of innocents, do you? Look, I've done things I'm not proud of. Might be there were a time when I turned a blind eye to the wretchedness of the world so I could line my pocket. But that woman is no more. And you'd know that if you'd ever paid the slightest bit of notice.
You're right, Lady Karen. I apologize. It was wrong of me to doubt you.
Aye, it was. Now, I reckon you've got better things to do than pointing your do-gooding finger at a poor old woman.
Of course. Good day.
Goats. She lashed me. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
Karen,
What did she say?
that the rumors were unfounded, and that I was a fool for thinking they might hold any truth, along with some other things that made her feelings clear. And while it sounds like she may have done things she regretted in her past, she says those days are behind her.
Oh, well, that's good. I knew Nan wasn't caught up in out bad. But why would people say she was? What did she ever do to them? It's not right.
No, it's not. But people do things for all sorts of reasons. Perhaps we'll never know.
Well, I'm going to find out. That trader, he said they were all talking about her in Dalimil. So that's where I'm going. I'll find someone who'll tell me, you'll see.
Are you sure that's wise? Whoever's spreading these rumors means Karen ill.
Oh, right. But that's why you'll be coming with me, isn't it, Clive?
I've just been volunteered.
I suppose it is.
I heard the Emperor was impaled on his...
Oh, rumors travel fast, huh?
We're all gonna die! You hear me? The Akashic are coming and they won't stop until...
What do you reckon we should do? I say we should just tell Miss Shirley.
You'll get us all striped. I'm telling you, I can fix them.
Oh yeah, they did break them. I figured. Looks like I found the balance.
Sid! Hard at your studies, I see. And what is that? It's not a set of scales, is it?
No. Of course it isn't.
Well, not anymore, it's not. Oh,
And just how long hasn't it been one?
we're sorry.
But we didn't break them. We dismembered them.
Just like Miss Mididol showed us.
Miss Mididol? And why would she have you dismembering her creations?
Because that's
You
the
mean
only way to
dismantling?
become an engineer.
An engineer.
Mididol said, the best way to see how something works is to take it apart and put it back together again.
Well then, your work is already half done. Carry on.
About that.
The taking apart was easy enough, but it's the putting back we can't work out.
Speak for yourself. The heavy thing goes at the bottom. Then...
You three need to learn to take responsibility for your actions. So let's have a look at these parts with fresh eyes, shall we?
Excuse me?
All right. Everything here was once part of Miss Mididol's scales.
Do we have a little
Every
minigame?
piece has its own role to play, and each is just as important as the others. If even one of them is missing, the scales won't work. So let's think about what those roles might be. You already know one of the pieces. The body. Its role is to support everything else. But what of the others?
What will you inspect?
This is called the arm. Why do you suppose that is? It doesn't look much like an arm.
You're right. It looks more like a wing. Like a chocobo wing!
You've ridden a chocobo before, haven't you, Sid? Will you teach me to ride one day?
Oh, they're getting distracted very
Think
fast.
about it. Now, what do arms do?
Hold things. So wait, maybe this arm holds things too?
Good thinking. You're on the right track. These round parts are called the pans. You all know what a pan is, don't you?
I do. Molly uses them in the kitchens to fry bangers. But these aren't for frying bangers, you idiot. They're for weighing stuff. But what if I wanted to weigh Goots? I don't think he'd fit on that little thing.
Probably not.
What are the chains for? Holding the pans up?
Well spotted. Which means something must hold the chains up in turn. This tiny piece is what's called a cogwheel, or gear. Have you ever seen one before?
I have. Miss Middledale's dungeon is full of them. Most are on the floor.
She puts them in all her inventions. They spin round and round and round and round and...
That's right. They're very useful when you want to make things move. Do you remember if there was anything on the scales that moved?
I remember the arm moved when I tried weighing an apple. And then somebody ate it.
It's not my fault. You shouldn't have tried weighing it before lunch.
You know what part's supposed to move and how it's supposed to move. So, let's put the pieces together first, see what doesn't move, and then stick the cogwheel to that.
Not a bad idea. You see? It's not so difficult. So, now that we've taken stock of the parts and learned what they do, what do you think?
I think we've got it.
Then here's what we'll do. You tell me what goes where, and I'll put the scales together.
Well, obviously you need to start with the body. All the other pieces fit onto it, don't they?
And the arms go on the body, just like real arms. Or wings, if you're a chocobo. And then the arms hold the pans by the chains.
Very good. Let's see if that works. There. All finished.
Yes! We did it!
Well, with Sid's help.
We're missing something, boys.
Oh, I just put the pieces together.
And
It's
girl.
you three engineers who showed me how.
That's right. We're Miss Middledale's hairs.
Her hairs?
Yeah, hairs for the future. She's showing us her secrets now, so we can help out the hideaway when we're older.
What do you think, Sid?
There are no hairs in the
Are you
future.
almost ready?
With a little more help from Miss Middledale and Miss Shirley, I'd say it won't be long at all.
You hear that? It won't be long.
Until then, though, do try to be honest with Miss Shirley.
Are we just gonna leave the gear there?
Look, we never used the cogwheel.
You don't think Sid forgot about it, do you?
What are they looking at? Look, they're looking straight at the screen. So Clive's head might be a little bit emptier than you'd think. Okay, let's try talking to Miss Shirley. And hopefully they don't have us go back and fix the thing properly.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see anything. I'm sorry. I saw nothing. I'm too busy to be seeing anything. Shirley, I did the thing. I found the kids and the balance, and then I didn't fix it right.
Did you solve the mystery?
It was as you thought. The children had the scales, or the parts of them at least. They dismantled them to see how they worked.
Dismembered them,
No,
Sid.
Mid will have my head.
Thankfully she won't. This might even have been her idea. Although I was the one who ended up teaching the lesson.
I'm so sorry,
Wrong.
Sid.
We taught it
I know how
wrong.
busy you are. I shall see that the children are properly punished.
Please, there's no need. Mid seems to have taken the three of them under her wing. She's even calling them her heirs.
Hairs.
She'd have them follow in her footsteps.
You gotta say it right, Sid.
And her father's.
I see. Sid, do you know why Mid has been spending so much time at the hideaway of late?
She told me it was because her studies have been interrupted by events in Canva. Is that not true?
No, it isn't. The university offered her a commission. In exchange for full tuition, room and board, they asked her to oversee the design of several new war engines. To anyone else it would be an opportunity, but to Mid, who lost both her parents to war, it was a bitter pill. One she was none too keen to swallow. But that should come as no surprise. She's only ever cared about bringing people hope. The very last thing war can be said to do.
Which explains her heirs. She's working to give them a better life. And so should I. What's the odd engineering lesson?
Ah, you've given them far more than that. And I'm sure they're very grateful.
Okay. Next up. Oh, there's stuff at our desk that we need to look at.